Hi everyone, I'm Laura from Cherub's Chalks Interiors. Today I'm going to show you how I updated a vintage desk to fit in with modern decor. Check out how this piece started. It needed a lot of work. It was dated, tired and in need of repair, but its potential shone through with all of those gorgeous details. The first job is always to give it a really good clean. I'm using White Lightning, which comes in a granule form. I mix this with water and then give it a real good scrub. Once this is clean, I'm going to rinse it off with some plain water to remove any of that residue. I'm now going to be using some Bond Emboss. Firstly, I need a stain block, but also I want to apply an adhesion primer, which Bond Emboss has built in. This is going to save me tons of time because getting into all of those details with some sandpaper would take ages and I don't want to break a nail. So I'm just going to grab a premium chip brush and apply the Bond Emboss in clear all over. Bond Emboss comes in 3 different colours: white, grey or clear. I've chosen clear this time because I'm going to be distressing back and I'd like to see some of that wood underneath. I will apply 2 coats of Bond Emboss and I will leave that overnight to dry and do its job. I'm going for neutral tones with this desk, so for the base coat I'm going to be using Burlap. I'm going to mix this with some Sea Spray, which will create a nice thick texture. I always judge the quantities by eye, as each project calls for a different thickness. I'll start mixing this up and then keep adding more Sea Spray if necessary. Now I'm going to really roughly and randomly apply this base coat using a premium chip brush, working with a loose grip on the brush as I don't want lots of control. The aim is to create textured brush strokes and then stipple on in some areas, just so that you get lots of different variations in the texture. Now I have got the entire base coat on. I've gone slightly lighter with the texture on the front as I didn't want to hide those lovely details. Now I've chosen a really gorgeous brown. This is a really unusual colour for me to use as a main coat, but it's absolutely fantastic. It's a really calming, earthy shade and it's called Mud Puddle. I'm going to apply 2 coats of this over the entire piece, and especially making sure to get into all of those details. You can be quite rough with the brush here and then smooth it out afterwards. Now to reveal some of that burlap, which was the base coat underneath, I'm going to wet distress. That means I'm going to start off by spraying with water to soften up the paint. Then I'll grab a 120 grit sandpaper and I'm going to rub this all along the edges. This is going to take off some of the top layer of the paint so that you can see that peak of colour from underneath. To finish off and soften up those edges, I'm going to buff with a microfiber cloth and yet more water. And then I'm going to create a custom wax mix using some Best Dang wax in clear. I will scoop some of this out into a mixing pot and slightly beat it with a wooden spatula to soften it up. Now I'm going to make it extra special by adding a very small amount of Gold Shimmer Glaze. I'll just drizzle in a small amount as I don't want to dilute the wax too much. I'm then going to give this a real good stir, making sure it's all mixed in perfectly. You can now see that the wax has a hint of gold and it's very shimmery. I can't wait to get this onto the paintwork and see how it looks. To apply this, I'm going to use my French tip brush. Any natural bristle brush will do, but obviously with these details, that French tip is going to get in to all of those nooks and crannies. I'm going to work this well into the paint, making sure to cover every single area. The wax is going to work as a sealer, and of course we want to see as much of that shimmery goodness as possible. Now I want to buff this and remove any of the excess wax. To do this, I'm actually using a kitchen sponge. I find this perfect for absorbing all of that excess wax, and of course the sponge gets into those details really easily. So who's ready to see the final result? I think she turned out perfectly. Here's a close-up so that you can see more of those details. Those gorgeous neutral tones and that subtle shimmer make this desk stand out. In my opinion, she looks so much better than how she started. I hope you agree, let me know in the comments. I also added some floral transfers to the drawer sides. This is the perfect floral surprise, adding an extra touch of glam. Thank you for joining us on our latest tutorial. We appreciate all of you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this transformation and found some inspiration to create something similar. Tag us in any of your projects. You can find us on all of the social media platforms at Cherubs Chalks Interiors. For more videos like this, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment and turn on your post notifications to get notified when we next post. Thanks for watching.